Hey, Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, Brakathum to all the brothers, Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, and the third by Shem Yahushai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander John Yohana. You understand? And this is the Tuesday Las Vegas Brotherhood class. You understand? I'm Preaching Officer 500 Rock. And as the title says, what we're going to be going over today is how to have peace. And of course, this is going to be according to the Bible. You understand what the Bible says about, us having peace, us obtaining peace. You understand? And we'll kind of talk about, what peace really is for us, considering the fact that, quite frankly, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, we really don't know what it's like to have peace. You understand? We've been under this oppression for the last 500 years. That peace is a foreign thing to us. You understand? So we're gonna go over that. In the meantime, before we get into that topic, I'm just gonna ask that everybody make sure that they like and share the video, like I'm doing so myself. And also, I'd like to just apologize for starting a little late. I was having some issues. You understand? That got resolved. You understand? But yeah, so let's make sure that we all do our part in liking and sharing this class. You understand? Make sure we do our part to getting this truth pushed out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? We got to do our part to make sure that, you understand, we wake up our people. All right. So while y'all doing that, I'm going to be doing it myself. Trying to go as fast as possible. Also, in the meantime, if there's anybody that's online that has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. You understand? I'll answer them to the best of my ability scripturally. You understand? In the ISUPK, we're not like the Christian church where we're going to tell you something that makes you feel good because it sounds good and, whatever. We're not going to tell you to, just pray about it because, that's something I heard a whole lot. I had questions, right? No, we're going to actually, prove all things. You understand? We're not just going to tell you some BS. We're going to tell you something that can actually be proven scripturally. You understand? And if I'm unable to do it myself, I'll be sure to take it to let you know that I don't know. Write down your question, and I'll be taking your question to a mightier man than myself to get your question answered. You understand? So, all right. So that introduction is out the way. And again, Salakia for the late start. Okay. And then where we're going to start off at is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. All right. When we get started. Hey, what's going on? True Shalom with Christ. True, it's good to see you in the class. Good to see you in the class. Make sure you keep getting in these classes. You keep staying in these classes. So like you. All right. Okay. All right. So, like I said, we're going to start off at the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Right. Again, our topic is to go over, you understand, true peace for Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women. Actually, you know what? Do I want to start there? Yeah, we'll start there because I don't want to make y'all wait any longer than I already have. So select it again, right? Okay, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Now, this is Moses right here. He's talking to the Israelites, right? He's talking to us. He's talking to the Israelite people, telling them, he had already explained to them, hey, these are the laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the, the laws that we are supposed to follow. You understand, that the Most High God had commanded us to do this day. You understand? And he's telling them, he said, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. Okay, so this lets you know that when you are following the laws, statutes, and commandments, the other nations are going to look at us as a wise and understanding people. You understand? Take, for example, and I was actually planning on kind of starting the class talking about that new news with that how you say it, Dalai Lama or whatever, the little Asian Chinese dude that everybody be looking at, for Buddhism and whatnot. I guess it's the religious people for Nepal or something like that. I believe it is. But anyways, he was sitting there trying to make out with a little boy on TV, and pretty much because he got caught, you understand, that's really the only reason why he's even apologizing in the first place. One reason why that is so is because of the fact that in the article that I had read in a copy, I just only wanted to talk about this just really quick, right? Because it kind of did go with our with the topic that I have today, as far as peace and understanding and us being a wise nation, right? It has said that the Dalai Lama dude, apparently this was he is normally very playful with these children. You understand? He's always touchy-feely, joking around, being very playful with the children. Well, mind you, this is his playful manner that he has with these children. You understand? Where he's sticking his tongue out, and I believe he told the little boy to suck my tongue. You understand? He was kissing him on the forehead, this, that, anyway. The little boy was pulling away. You understand? Now, what is my point to even bringing up the Dalai Lama when we're talking about peace, right? It's a simple fact that y'all got to understand that wars have been fought, have been waged because of acts like this. You understand? And in fact, the final war, when Yahushua comes and returns, that's what that war is about. That's why he is returning to bring that sword, or with the sword, is to end all this wickedness. You understand? Where people are molesting little children, touching little children. You understand? Doing all these manners of wickedness. Now, when people ain't doing wicked, when people ain't doing evil, what is there to dispute about? What is there to be upset about? Or in other words, what is there to wage war over with another person or another nation? There is nothing else. You understand? And that's also why I did want to start with this verse right here, Deuteronomy 4:6. You understand? Because of the fact that we will be that example. When we are following the law, statutes, and commandments, right? We are being that example of, we're showing everybody that, you can police your own. We can police our own. We can take care of our own. We can counsel our own. You understand? We can take care of our own and build our own up just off of our laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Well, we don't eat certain things. We don't do certain things. We do certain things. Like, take, for example, you understand, this past Sunday was Easter Sunday, right? While all these heathens was walking around in a bow tie, lying to their children that a goddamn big ass overgrown Easter bunny went, snuck into their backyard and hid some eggs that apparently it laid and painted and, set to the side for the children to go and find, go play hide and seek and search for. You understand? While y'all are lying to y'all, them Christians and the people in the world are lying to their children to go do those activities. What we were doing in the ISUPK was obeying what the Most High God had commanded us to do, which was, this past Sunday was the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You understand? That's what we were doing. Okay. Now, over time, you understand, the people in the world, they're going to see. And in fact, it's happening more and more. That's why people are leaving these churches and these Muslim mosques and whatnot, because they're starting to see that these organized religion, organized churches, organized religion, you understand, it's a bunch of BS. You understand? They got them worshiping false idols, got them worshiping things that have no real power. You understand? Except for empowering those wicked bastards that, just allows them to, touch their children, have sex with their husband or their wife, or sometimes both, because these pastors and whatnot, like they wicked nasty. You understand? These things are happening out there, right? But they are waking up and starting to see that, what the hell does a rabbit and an egg have to do with one another? Some of them are actually doing research. The research that the ISUPK has already been doing and already been teaching everybody. You understand? Or in other words, people are just watching the ISUPK classes, period. So, this is also why in the beginning of all of our classes, we always stress for y'all to make sure that y'all like and share these classes. You understand? Because you know what? Quite frankly, that's how they even have this information in the first place, because they've been learning from us. You understand? They've been getting the wisdom from us, starting to learn and realize that Easter is just the English spelling. Easter Sunday is just the English spelling for Ish. Well, it's the Egyptians' goddess name is Easter, but the way that it's written out is Ishtar, which is to us would be Ishtar, but it's pronunciated Easter. You understand? That whole ritual of Easter Sunday is actually an Egyptian custom. So what they would actually do to pay tribute to Easter. So Easter was a goddess of fertility, right? And mind you, y'all can look all this up, because you understand we don't sit here and just pull things out of our asses and just say whatever like they do in the Christian churches, right? We actually, the things that we speak about can all be proven. You understand? So anyways, moving on, right? So the Egyptian goddess Easter was the goddess of fertility, and her symbols was the rabbit and the egg. All right, the rabbit, because what do rabbits do, man? You put a male and a female rabbit in a room, 30 seconds later, you've got 50 different rabbits in there from just those two. You understand? It don't take very long before they get to doing what all of us men and women like to do with each other. You understand? They get right to it, and then they just multiplying. You understand? So basically, the rabbit is just a symbol for sex. You understand? And back then, so what they would do, part of the paying tribute to Easter, was they would have orgies where they would share their women, some flip flop with each other. The whole, they would have big ass orgies where all, men and women was all coming together. Y'all all know these doggone Hamites is just disgusting homosexuals, which is part of the reason why the Greeks and the Romans even adopted their customs in the first place and implemented it into theirs. You understand? Going from the Greeks to the Romans to all the way to here in America. You understand? That's exactly why. But anyways, you understand? So they would do the orgies, right? Now, where you get the egg is the egg of fertility. They wanted, so during those orgies, they wanted to get pregnant. They wanted pregnancies to happen. Now, who sired those children in those pregnancies was irrelevant to them. You understand? The reason for that is, and y'all can look this up, they purposely got pregnant so that 9 months later, that egg grew into a child. Obviously, they gave birth just to sacrifice that newborn innocent child to Easter, their fertility goddess. That is what Easter is about. That is what that custom is about. You understand? And this is something that when your mom and dad and aunts and uncles are sitting there celebrating Easter and whatnot, man, break that history down. Like this is the custom that you are upkeeping. The only thing that is different is that it's a little bit more, we'll say, PG. You understand? It's a little bit more PG. No, it's not abortion. So like I'm not sure actually. Since I have my notes written down, I'm gonna go on to the Facebook. Salakia. My bad, Salakia, y'all. That was rude. I'm gonna go on to Facebook so I actually know who I'm speaking to, because for some reason it doesn't ever tell me your name. Hold on one second. Why can't I find the doggone? There it is. Watching with you. Oh, the abortion comment didn't come up though for some reason. That's weird. Okay. Well, anyways. But okay, so it's not necessarily abortion because I mean it's abortion after the baby was born. All right. So Lucky, I'm not sure what your name is. It's coming up as Facebook user, so I'm not trying to be rude to you. But it's not, I mean, if you want to call it abortion after the baby is born, then okay, yeah, then you're correct. But they basically have these orgies just for human sacrifice because it's a pagan tradition. You understand? That's what pagans did. You know, not only did they just conduct an animal sacrifice, it's similar to like what we did, but they also, what part of what makes pagans pagan is the fact that they had human sacrifices. That's why the pagan traditions is so frowned upon, even though our Christians frown upon it, even though that they are pagans. You understand? The only part that they don't like today is just the human the human sacrificial portion, which is very hypocritical because technically what you're doing by making your children, partake in things like Easter, Christmas, and stuff like that. You know, you're sacrificing your child spiritually when they go and do these things. You understand? Now, so when you start to understand the history of these holidays that the world is practicing in, because mind you, one of the solutions at a time, where was it? I believe it was the 90s when it was really common, where everybody was how do you say Afro-Asiatic and whatnot. Everybody was Asian and Asian persuasion, where everybody was into the whole kung fu and this, that, and the other, right? I believe that was the 90s, maybe the 80s. I can't remember. Don't butcher me for that. Salakia. Maybe Officer Shabal knows if he's still on. He show his age a little bit. I'm just playing. But you know what I'm saying? The point is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we look to these Asian people for guidance. We look to these African booty scratchers for guidance. We look to the so-called white man for guidance and morality, which is the horrible, terrible part about us, is that we're looking to these heathen nations for guidance on a morality compass. You understand? Which is absolutely absurd, especially when you look at the history of all of these heathens and not even just the history, but the things that they are still doing today. You understand how murderous they are, how just disgusting they are. They put anything and everything in their mouths. You understand? They eat and swallow anything that they can put in their mouth. They eat it. Y'all know that you can actually you can eat a human being of which they basically sign their lives away at a certain age, and I believe it's in Japan, might be in China, where basically they live for free. Everything is paid for. All their food is paid for. The boarding, the room and board is paid for. Everything. Just at a certain age, they die. They basically kill them, and you can go eat their corpses. You can go and eat them. Look that up. You understand? These heathen nations do have no moral compass, but we are looking to them for the answers to: am I a good person? Am I walking in this spiritual walk correctly? You understand? We're looking to them, when ultimately all you need to do, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man or woman, is get your nose in this book. You understand? Get your ass in these classes in the ISUPK under Command and General Yohana. You understand? That's how you find a true moral compass. And in fact, it's a good moral compass for the whole world and the whole earth. If we're being quite frank, just the only thing is them heathens ain't gonna follow it. You understand? We have to follow it first. You understand? And then they will follow suit. I mean, they follow all of our other trends, right? And I'm not saying that in an aspect of be a good, follow the Bible the way that you're supposed to so that you can be a light unto these heathens and whatnot. That is not what I'm saying. You understand? Because for their time to start following, what we follow as far as scripturally, man, that's for the kingdom, because they ain't gonna do it in this world. You understand? Because they don't want to give up their seat of power that they currently have over us. You understand? But over time, they will come to realize that, this is a wise and an understanding people. They're not molesting their own children. They're not murdering each other. They're not stealing from each other. You understand? They understand that if they act a certain way, that they raise their children a certain way, that they conduct themselves in a certain manner, that they're not going to have these issues that plagues all these other neighborhoods, all these other nations. You understand? So in other words, while we're raising up our children in the ISUPK, what we're doing is we're sitting from inside that box, that sheltered box. You understand, that the Most High God has for us. And we're just looking at everybody else. We're basically Bubble Boy, looking at everybody else getting sick, everybody else getting murdered, everybody else fighting each other, everybody else getting caught up in all such a buffoonery, while we're inside the Bubble Boy box, just obeying the Lord, and ain't nothing touching us. Ain't nothing, of course, we have our adversity and whatnot. Life ain't perfect in the box. You understand? But we sure the hell ain't going through what the hell y'all going through. You understand? We're not going to be going, we're not going to be caught up in that thermonuclear war that the rest of the earth is going to be caught up in. You understand? We're not going to get caught. We're not going to be a part of them plagues that the rest of the earth is going to be caught up in. That famine, you understand, when the food shortages really hit, it's not going to really hit us like it's going to hit y'all. You understand? Because we all have each other. You understand? And we have each other and stick to each other and stay close to each other and take care of each other, because we have the wisdom and understanding out this book that the Most High God gave unto us, unto the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and them alone only. You understand? And so, of course, they're gonna be looking at us like, man, y'all wise and understanding people. And this also, of course, carries over to when we in the kingdom. You understand? And they'll say it again, man. I understand why they're in the seat of power that they're in. Because hell, these are the laws that were given to them, and they follow those laws, and there is no issue. In fact, we have peace. You understand? So we're going to read this scripture one more time from the top, and then we're going to move on, right? So the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them. Moses is talking about the laws, statutes, and commandments that he had given unto to the Israelites, right? For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation. So this is your wisdom and your understanding, not just the wisdom and understanding to understand this Bible, but also to deal with the whole world, period. How to deal with each other, how to deal with them, how to conduct ourselves, right? In the sight of the nations. The other nations will see it. You understand? Which shall hear of us, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So they'll look at us, they'll hear that, we're not supposed to partake in Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. You understand? We're not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. We're not supposed to do the things that y'all are doing in the world. You understand? If the Bible speaks against it, we're not supposed to take part in it. And they're going to say, this is a wise and understanding people, just from hearing the fact that you don't do these things. And of course, you could just open up a book or use your doggone Google machine, and you can see why we ain't supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. why you're not supposed to, why you shouldn't, partake in the celebration of, the annual celebration of the genocide of the Native Americans, aka Thanksgiving. You understand? There's a reason why we don't partake in any of those things, but at the end of the day, it all starts with the fact that the Most High God said not to. The Most High God said, do this, not this. You understand? And when you do this, the things that you're supposed to, and we will have peace. You understand? Your life won't be as burdensome as it could be. You understand? And we're going to get more on that, right? So we're going to drop that. Now we're going to go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. All right, the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. And I see that there's more of y'all logging in. If there's anybody that's online that has any questions, you understand, make sure that you post your questions in the chat, you understand, and we'll get to that script, we'll answer that question scripturally, you understand, whether it's on topic or off topic. All right, so this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. Like it. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God. So the Most High God is saying, like, listen, you are not to have any type of statues, whether you select any graven images. So basically, you're not to raise up a statue. So, when you got mom and dad, for our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, you understand, the so-called Mexicans, you understand, the so-called Hispanics, we'll just say, because, Catholicism is really big and heavy on our Hispanic brothers and sisters, right? They got, what is this, Saint Mary and Saint, all the different saints, Saint Paul, Saint Mary, all of them, right? They rise up. They have whole ass shrines. Like my rib, her mother, right? They're Israelites. She's got a whole shrine for Saint Mary. You understand? And the crazy funny thing about that whole, that household basically is, they have their little comments, disputes with what I believe, what I follow, with what I actually do. I don't just believe, it's what I actually do. The fact that I live this Bible, they have an issue with that. And of course, her daughter is following suit, right? Is following my lead, right? She has an issue with that, but yet, I'm just doing the things that the Bible says. And we just read right here that you ain't supposed to have, that shrine of Saint Mary. So what are you doing? Why are you worried about what I'm doing? When, you can't even make it out of the Levitical book. You worried about the New Testament. You can't even get out of the Old Testament. You already effing up. You know what I'm saying? But that's Christianity and Catholicism for it's one hell of a drug. It's one hell of a drug, right? But so you're not supposed to raise up any type of graven image. It don't matter if it's a statue, a painting, what have you. You're not to do any of that, right? That's what, and the Lord said, for I am the Lord your God. Basically, when he says that, he's saying, man, because I said so. You understand? I am the Most High. This is what I say. Stamp of approval. Don't do it. You're going to get dealt with if you do. You understand? Verse 2. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. So when you go through, the Mosaic laws, that's pretty much where you're going to find all of the, majority of your high holy days. You understand that you're supposed to, we're supposed to keep every year. Feast of first fruits, Passover. You understand? Feast of unleavened bread. You understand? You'll find those things in the old, in the Mosaic laws, right? Those are usually Sabbaths, and you have to keep those Sabbaths, right? And reverence my sanctuary. Man, give reverence to his sanctuary. You understand? In the places of which we deem, okay, this is holy. This is set aside for the Lord. I like to tell like take for example these schools, man. We take reverence for these schools. We take care of our school, clean the bathroom, clean the floors. We upkeep all of this. You understand? I am the Lord. So again, that's him saying, man, because I said so. You understand? Verse 3, if ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, verse 4, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield her fruit. You understand? So he's, man, if you do as I tell you to do, I'll make sure that you are taken care of. I will make sure that the rain, you get plenty of water for not only just yourself, but also for, your cattle and also for your crops. You understand? Your crops is going to go ahead and, you're going to have a bountiful, you are not going to have a drought season. You understand? You will have a bountiful harvest when it comes time to harvest. You understand? I will make sure that the earth produces plenty, not just what you need, what you require to make it through, but plenty. It'll be bountiful. You understand? Verse 5, and your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time, and ye shall eat your bread to the full and dwell in your land safely. You understand? So again, like you're not just going to eat just to be able to survive. Oh, okay, at least I got something in my belly. You understand? No, when you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you are able to, I eat a lot. Like, it's a lot. There's plenty. You understand? Full and plenty. You understand what I'm saying? And that goes for all of us as an entire nation. That can happen for all of us, where we won't have to worry about our people to go hungry like that if us as a nation just follow the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Verse 6, and I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid, and I will rid evil beasts out of the land. Neither shall the sword go through your land. So not only will the Most High make sure that we are fed, we just have a bountiful life, basically. You understand? He'll also protect you to make sure, beasts as in the other nations and literal beasts. You don't have to worry about wolves coming in to tearing up your stuff. You understand? Or even coming to attack you, but also those heathen beasts that act like beasts. You understand? That act like doggone animals that want to put their rods inside of everything, that want to just kill everything that they come across. You understand? You won't have to even worry about them, because the Most High God will keep them away from you because you are following the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, I know like that. See, and I can see how some people would say, like, you read something like this, you're like, man, the Bible is a fairy tale. I can see why some brothers and sisters would still say that, considering the fact that for the last 500 years that we've been in the oppression that we've been under for the last 500 years. That doesn't even seem like a possible reality for us because of just how we've been under the boot of our oppressors so deep and for so long. You understand? But let me tell y'all, man, come into the ISUPK, you see this brotherhood that we have. You understand? You will literally see people turn around who have just a warring life left and right from the man. It's not even from the moment that they wake up, because they're warring in their sleep, and they're still warring when they wake up, still warring when they go to sleep, still warring when they wake up. It's a continual thing because of, how I want to put it, because of the plagues that come from being in our oppression. You understand? And the ISUPK, that oppression gets lifted off your neck. Those plagues get removed out of your life slowly but surely. My point is that peace does begin to set in to these brothers and sisters' lives. You understand? Hey, I'm one of them. You understand? When my life turned around for the better. You understand? Where the the ghosts of my past is not something that I war with as intensely anymore. You understand? Where I can actually lay down my head, I can actually lay down my head at night and have some peace. Yeah, I might have a night or two where, I wake up just ready to go, but hey, life ain't gonna be perfect. You understand? But it's a whole lot better than what it could be right now and also what it was. You understand? And that goes on, man, and plenty of brothers and sisters will give you a similar testimony. You understand? Where they came into the ISUPK, got their selves right, and peace started to set in. You understand? And it all starts with you following the laws, statutes, and commandments. Of course, you getting your tail in these classes, right? But you get in these classes, you'll start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? So that your life will turn around for the better. Right? All right. So if we don't have any questions, I don't see any questions online. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and drop that. Now we're going to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 6 and verse 23. The book of Numbers, chapter 6 and verse 23. All right. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 6 and verse 23. Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, O this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. You understand? All of us, and see, these things come into fruition, for one, because we just simply obey the Most High God. We do as we are told. You understand? What is written in this book will happen. It's happening, or will happen. You understand? There is nothing that's going to be left out. There's nothing that's going to be overlooked. You understand? And us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans having peace on this earth, not having to worry about getting shot in the streets, not having to worry about being kidnapped. Kidnapped too, but getting grabbed out of our own land that was stolen from us to get thrown into cages where you have to breastfeed your child through a doggone gate. You understand? There will be a time we won't have to worry about that for the rest of eternity. You understand? What we have to understand, though, too, most importantly, is that eternity, that peace and eternity cannot start until us as a nation come together and start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? You have to do something to get such a great reward. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, if as great of a people as we are, all individually, where there's this black and brown division amongst us. You understand? Where the Native Americans don't consider, the Hispanics, family, and then so-called blacks don't consider them family. That whole triangle, the division of the divisive triangle, I guess we can call it, right? Man, with us separate, look at how amazing that we are. Everybody wants our food. Everybody wants our culture, just our culture, period. They want our culture so bad. There's a whole goddamn nation of people stole our entire identity, stole our entire land. That's how great you are, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, and woman. Of course, don't forget, y'all women, y'all sisters is included in this as well, right? But we're great as individual sectors, right? Just imagine how great we would be when we come together like we are supposed to. You understand? if we just simply come together and have peace amongst, with each other like we are supposed to, like the Most High God had commanded us to. You understand? Where, how I want to say, we come together with peace. A big portion of our how you say of our war that we are having today, a very big portion is with ourselves. We can't even fight the real enemy until we realize that we're not enemies. We make peace with our own, and this is even with the individual. You understand? Because Black men hate themselves as an individual. As in, there was a time that I hated myself. You understand? But that's also because I always knew I was wicked. I slick knew I was wicked. I didn't know what I should do to change it. I had no moral compass. But I just knew the things that I was doing. I knew I was a wicked bastard. I knew I was. And because of that, man, I hated myself. You understand? And shit, Salakia, that's part of the reason why there was a good hot streak, man. I was depressed because I wasn't happy with myself. You understand? And that's very common throughout the Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities for men and women all across. You understand? Because we hate ourselves. We hate ourselves, as the individual and also each other. You understand, man? We put that aside. Begin to have peace with yourself and then also with your people. Just imagine the things that you can accomplish. I can tell you the things that I've accomplished. You understand? Well, now I've begun a beautiful family. We working on, with me and one of my ribs, we working on, buying our first freaking house. You understand? We just bought, a brand new car together. You know what I'm saying? And had nobody else's help. We doing this all, with just the Lord assisting us. And that's it. The Lord just blessing our path because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You understand? And that is taking, that's how it works. You understand? So like, and I'm not trying to put, not trying to put us on like a pedestal or anything. I'm just using myself as an example because I know what is going on with my life. You get what I'm saying? And these things, can apply also for y'all. It all starts with following the laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Putting away that feud that you have with yourself and with your brothers and sisters. Have compassion on yourself. That's the crazy thing, is learning to have compassion on yourself and then applying that with your brothers and sisters who've never had that either. Somebody else to have compassion on them and to be forgiven by, another Black, Hispanic, and Native American man or woman. You understand? When these things happen, man, peace sets into your life. And then it sets into, our lives as a nation. You understand? And what is that set up for? For us to be able to grow and to build into the great nation that the Most High God had intended us to become in the first place. You understand? Sister Amanabah said, the crafty counsel of the oppressor was to divide our nation and conquer us. It is now time to reconnect our nation or offsprings of Israel and rise. Salakia. No, you're exactly right, sis. I mean, for one, the divide and conquer tactic works the best against us. You understand? Especially with the time and the invested time that they have put in on oppressing us in the first place. You understand? Where they're able to implement colorism, because a lot of people don't realize this, but y'all know you can get a white child out of two Black parents. You understand? But people who are unlearned and are really caught up into colorism would, as soon as they see that white child, no matter how nappy their hair is, how big their lips are, how big their nose is, what have you, whatever nigga features that child has, no matter how prominent those features are, the fact that they don't have the skin color, you're not a nigga. You understand? And that's part of that divide and conquer mentality. Or divide and conquer tactics, Salaki. You understand? And that goes all the way back to, I believe that began with the Romans. It might have been with Greeks as well, but I think that was actually the Romans, because the Romans actually had campaigns on growing the borders of their nation. So I believe that was actually the Romans. I could be wrong. If anybody knows, feel free to correct me in the chat. But you know what I'm saying? So like the sister is right. And the biggest thing is that crafty counsel, you understand, of the oppressor. You understand the crafty counsel that they have had, not even just with themselves, but with all the other nations, where they have all, had a counsel with one another to basically, they console with one another. And this is scripture, I'm just paraphrasing it, but they all came together to make sure that, to keep Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from knowing that we are the Israelites, from knowing that we are one, from knowing that, it's us against them. They completely divided us to where, you have some Black men, want to be Asian, they want to be African, they want to be white, and that's just the Black man. Then you got the same thing going on with the Hispanics. Then you got the same thing going on with the Native Americans. You understand? That's some real divide and conquering that they had conducted. You understand? And we have to drop that. You understand? There will never be peace on earth ever until we come together. It don't matter what they do. Them bastards is going to get the sword anyways. Them bastards is going to get thermonuclear warfare anyways. You understand? My concern is not these other nations. You understand? My concern is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are actually the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You understand? And of course, like the sister said, man, it is high time. It is now time to reconnect our nation or offspring of Israel. And right, it is high time for us to wake up our people, for us to gather ourselves with one another. Salaki. And Salaki, man, it got buku hot in Vegas, like almost overnight. Got back from the Passover. It was still 60, like in the 60s, man. It's already 90 degrees out here, man. I'm over here sweating like a dog. Doggone. Salakia. Mouth getting dry as hell, man. I didn't even have time to acclimate into the heat. Shit. Salakia. At least it ain't cold no more. Shit. But you understand? So, all right, so we're going to drop numbers. We're going to go back to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23. Back to the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to go to chapter 23 and then verse 6. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 6. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 6. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all their days forever. So now this is still going back to what I was talking about earlier, right? When I was referring, when we talked about the Dalai Lama dude, when we was talking about, how we look to the other nations for, a moral compass. You understand? This Bible is telling us that we are not to look to them at all. In fact, you have a prime example as to why you shouldn't look to them at all. Just look at the condition of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who try to follow Trump, who try to follow the American way, who try to follow the customs of the Chinese man, the Japanese man, the African man. You understand? The Middle Easterns. You understand? Anytime that we try to follow the customs of any of these other nations, yeah, we are the best of the best. We are the best Buddhists. We are the best. What is Islam called? Muslim. We're the best Muslims. We're the best Christians. We're the best Catholics. We are the best. Anything that we do, anything, sports, work, it doesn't matter. We are the best of the best on earth. Period. You understand? But yet, where's that gotten us? Where's it gotten anybody? You understand? We'll say that Oprah Winfrey was the best talk show host ever. Arguably so. I mean, hell, look at how rich she got. But at the end of it, she was still just a nigga. All that money, but still nigga. You understand? Still just a nigga. You 12, sis? All right. You understand? Didn't mean anything. And in fact, all of that, she's got all that money, right? But yet, I bet you she'll never tell a white man to F off. I bet you she'll never talk crazy to a doggone to any of the oppressors. And how you know that? What was that one dude? They had that Me Too movement for, because the devil was going around basically raping Hollywood women. It's not Epstein. Something, I wanted to say Steve Harvey. It's something Harvey. Or Harvey something. Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, the water. Harvey Weinstein. She went straight to his goddamn rescue. And we know goddamn why. That's fine, sis. I could have taken care of it. The water, though. The water. I'll hook it up, sis. The water. I appreciate you. Harvey Weinstein, you understand, doggone well that Oprah and Gayle was probably most likely part of, or could have been a part of the hashtag Me Too movement. But you know what? For what it says. But you know what? At the end of the day, all that money that she had doesn't mean anything because she's still nigga. There's not enough money to put a nigga into a reasonable standing. And I'm saying just a reasonable standing with these oppressors, with these other nations. You understand? We are always going to be considered at the very bottom. So with that being said, what's the point of even looking towards their ways? When all of their ways involve them touching your children, being homosexuals, stealing and lying to each other, murdering, and you understand, the list goes on and on. Where these, like the so-called white man, their history is nothing but rape, murder, and theft. Nothing but. Maybe one thing that white people came up with, maybe putting raisins in goddamn potato salad. But who wants that? You understand? Being the ultimate culture vulture. Again, but who wants that? You understand? Because you really can't even call them that. Try and call a fake Jew, a fake Jewish man, a fake Jew, a fake Jew. Call a Jewish man a fake Jew. Oh man, he gonna give you hell. Probably try to sue you, take you to court. You understand? For offending him and being derogatory, or you hurt his man box is what you did. You understand? You hurt his feelings is what you did. So he's gonna take you to court for that. Now you are right, 100% right, but man, they're gonna come after you for that. You understand? Only reason why they ain't coming after us like that is because they know we're the real Jews. And ultimately, they know that the Lord is with us. You understand? Let's read that from the top, though. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 6. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever. Just like we were talking about, last class before we left for the Passover, right? Old boy with the freckles and the glasses off of Sandlot, sitting there. Forever. You are not to do these things. You're not to participate in their ways. Their ways of becoming prosperous is not our ways. It is not something for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to get involved in. You understand? Their customs, their morality, their religions. You understand? We are not supposed to get involved with those things. You understand? Can we do business with them? Yeah, sure, man. Go ahead. Become a millionaire selling goddamn, whatever to them. If they want to buy it, man, sell it to them. You understand? You can get rich off of that. But don't try, just because the white man is over there talking about some, because listen, with the Christian churches, what's happening in the Christian church, the white man did that. White man has taught our leaders how to steal from us. You understand? That's all that is, to hustle us and steal from us. TD Jakes to steal from us. You understand? That's all that is. You understand? That is a custom of the heathen. You understand? That is something that the Greeks and the Romans and the doggone Egyptians, that they do. You understand? That's not something that we do. We take care of our own people. You understand? That is how Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that is how the Israelites in the Bible, that is how we prosper, is the fact that we all take care. So that we all take care of one another. You understand? And that keeps us all from falling under. Is because of the fact that we all keep each other afloat. You understand? And of course, you won't be able to do that unless you let go of whatever animosity that you have within yourself, and of course with your brothers and sisters. You understand? You sit there, hate yourself. You hate that black man. You hate that Hispanic man. You hate that Native American man. You're not going to be able to be kept afloat, let alone keep somebody else afloat. You got all that baggage. You got to let that go. You understand? And part of letting that go, see, holding on to grudges, those personal grudges and whatnot, and that's what these other heathens do. That's what those other nations do. You understand? That's what those heathens do, is they hold on to those things. And they want, so that they can go and get revenge. But what does the Most High God out of the Bible say? It says, man, vengeance is not yours. It is mine. You understand? There's nothing wrong with being upset. Again, you're allowed to be angry, but it's what you do with that anger is what actually matters. You understand? Man, if you get angry, look, what I challenge all of y'all to do, when you get angry at a black man or a black woman, Hispanic man, woman, Native American man or woman, instead of trying to attack them, man, use that, and this might sound corny, right? But use that anger to help better them. You understand? And it sounds corny at first, but what you have to realize is that you shouldn't be angry at that brother or sister for doing whatever they did to you. What you have to understand is because of all this oppression that we have had for the last 500 years. You understand? That's why they did that to you. That's why they offended you. It's really not even their fault. It's a goddamn white man's fault. It's a goddamn Asian man's fault. It's a goddamn African man's fault. It's a goddamn Arab's fault. You understand? It's their fault. So you need to direct that anger towards them. And how should you do it? Obviously, the violence isn't the answer, because what did the Most High God say? That vengeance is not for you. It is mine. You understand? So what should you do? Man, push all that energy that you want to burn out with your anger on showing your people how to separate. The brother or sister that had upset you, man, just listen, bro. Let me show you why you acting the way that you acting, and pull them away from that. Help them separate from those goddamn other nations. You understand? And in turn, what you're going to get is peace. You understand? You're going to help that brother get peace. And not only that, but that's something that spreads like wildfire. When you teach one, you teach many. You understand? Because those lessons, man, they're going to teach somebody else. And it's going to be a big domino effect. You understand? What we all have to realize is that, man, Yahweh Mashiach, our King in the Hebrew, or as the world ignorantly knows him as Jesus Christ in the English, man, he had told us that the kingdom of heaven is not going to come by observation, but it's going to come by you putting in work, you laying out those bricks. So instead of you just sitting around just waiting for everybody else to build a doggone kingdom, do your part and actually be an example to that brother. Be like, you know what? They're going to be upset with you. I'm going to drop this. And in fact, let me teach you a little something. Let me show you something. Let me explain something to you so that you can understand, for one, why I'm not going to direct my anger towards you, but two, so that you can separate from these doggone people who are oppressing us in the first place. You understand? That's how we're going to build this kingdom. And when this kingdom is built, what do you think comes with it? With the topic of this class is peace. You understand? Ultimately, man, nobody wants to sit here. Nobody really honestly wants to be warring 24/7. Nobody wants to be warring, period. You understand this bullshit that we have to go to with these 9-to-5 jobs to barely keep our heads above water with these bills, and then come home and bicker with our brothers and sisters, our wives, our husbands. This constant warring. Man, none of us want that. You understand? So why don't we learn how to keep peace, how to obtain the peace, and then, of course, keep it? Man, it's right here. You understand? In fact, what we just read right here in Deuteronomy 23 and in verse 6, you understanding that you're not going to find any type of prosperity. You understand? Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever. And you're not going to find nirvana like what the Chinese monks, be teaching you. You understand? Their way of chasing down nirvana is they got a temple filled with nothing but men. Some of them, man, you know that there are men up there, been up there their whole lives, 80 years, never seen a woman. But they touching them little boys. You know they touching them other little boys. How you know that? Because the Dalai Lama King dude, their leader, is doing it on public TV. If the leader is doing it, what do you think his subordinates are doing? His followers are doing. You understand? Apply a little bit of common sense. Think about that. So why would you follow that? Because they're just going to teach you to be disgusting and wicked. You understand? And ultimately, you'll never find peace in these other practices and these other religions. You understand? You'll never find it. I'm telling you now. In fact, the reason why y'all even watching these classes is because of the fact that you never found it in your Christian church, your Catholic church, in your Muslim mosque, and whatever, in your walk of life, trying to discover who you are. You couldn't find it in the stars of Sagittarius and in the moons of Gemini, or your Mercury being in retrograde. You couldn't find it. You understand? Because those are not ways and customs for you to find peace and prosperity. You understand? For a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man or woman to find peace and prosperity is in this Bible. You understand? Where you obey the Most High God. You understand? That's why it's so important for our people to get their asses in these classes. You understand? And get under Commander General Yohana in the ISUPK and learn from these priests and prophets of the Lord. You understand? All right. So we're going to drop that. Now we're going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. All right. If there's anybody online that has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. I'll answer them to the best of my ability scripturally, whether it's on topic or off topic. Feel free to ask your questions. You understand? 16 and 7. There we go. All right. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now, let me explain this to y'all, right? Let me break this down for y'all. Okay. I remember when I was first coming into the truth, and see, I'm already kind of rebellious by nature. So, learning about the truth and whatnot, to sit there and say, oh, you a goddamn devil and I'm better than you and this, that, and the other. Of course, it's when I was first in the truth. That's where my mind was to, be ready to, to just go off the rail like that. Right. I was basically with it, and I was always basically ready and looking for that type of a battle until they started. I started getting some of those classes where they're saying that we're not to get into those battles. As a young man in the troop, you're to shut the hell up and just watch the classes. And of course, all right, well, somebody says something, then I'm gonna kind of chime in, which is part of the reason. That's probably part of the reason why I was a doggone young man for so doggone long, right? But some people, right? The opposing side, these heathens, sometimes they will sit there and fight you tooth and nail, right? Whether it's with a debate or just to simply sit there and tell you how you are wrong, right? For example, for a hot minute, because I've been, out the, white man's military and whatnot. I had to move back in with my pops for a bit and stuff like that, right? So when I had first came back from, and this was in 2000, what was that? We moved back in like August, September of 2018. It was like the end of 2018, right before my daughter was born, right? Told my dad and his wife not doing the whole, Christmas, not doing all, not doing all that Christian stuff, right? And I was still still a young man at the time, and they were just kind of on some, well, this is my house, and you may not have to do it, so you're just gonna make Christmas cheaper on me, but my grandbaby, da 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 da. They're gonna have it at my house, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, you get them Christmas gifts, I'm just gonna throw it away. Oh no, you're not. Da, 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 da. Back and forth, right? Now, mind you, this was still, it was new for them to see me doing this, not doing Christmas and stuff like that. And then, of course, I was still dealing with some, knocking some demons. I'm a young man, still smoking tobacco and stuff like that, doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, right? So, of course, naturally, it's easy for the people in the world to come up against and fight and bicker, because I'm not doing anything to please the Lord, right? So it's going to be a normal worldly argument, right? Fast forward it to today, okay? So funny thing is, I had to move back in with my pops again, right? But this time it's buying a house and stuff like that. He's helping us save, buy a house. Now it's a totally different conversation. Because my father, he knows I don't smoke. I don't smoke anything, right? I don't, obviously, he knows we don't do any of those holidays. He knows that, he pretty much knows all the things that we do and don't do. You understand? And he doesn't have room to sit there and say, oh, but you're still doing this, you're still doing that, because I don't do those things anymore. So now he doesn't have any room to try to, throw anything and be like, well, are you really about this, this religion that you believe in? Are you really about this culture that you're saying that you follow? Because he can actually see me doing it. But not only that, but because I am doing it, the Lord is pleased. So that in itself, and not to say that my father is my enemy. You understand? He is my enemy in the context of he's still in the world, and we're not on the same side when it comes to the Lord. You understand? Him and I have division there, but there is peace between the two of us because of the fact that I am doing the things that pleases the Lord. You understand? And of course, that goes on with, even with people in the world as well. At your slaveries and whatnot, right? When you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, man, a lot of what was it when I was working at the whatchamacallit, it was like a little poop factory, whatever, where I had to clean porta johns and crap. Hated that job, right? I just called it a poop factory just because clean porta johns. But anyway, they pretty much dropped it on them like almost last minute, like, hey, I got a Passover coming up next month. Like, I know things are supposed to get really busy with, these events that are coming up. Can I get these things off? And, they made sure that, I ended up leaving anyways before it even happened. But they made, the paperwork was all done. I got approved for it, but, I ended up leaving that job anyways before then. That's a whole nother story. Point is, they're not going to, your enemies will not give you issues when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. You understand? When you are pleasing the Most High God. You understand? Which goes right back to what we had just read in, what was that, in Leviticus chapter 26, verses 1-6, right? With the fact that there's not going to be war amongst you and the heathen nations. The Lord is going to protect you. You understand? So they're not going to attack you. He's going to make these things, basically easier for you to be what you can handle. He's going to give it to you, basically. You understand? You understand? So, and it'll all start with a very early struggle. Like we're all familiar with it. Early growing pains. When you're first getting acclimated into a bigger body and this, that, and the other, it's awkward, and depending on how fast you grew, right? It's awkward. It's a little bit painful some nights because you're hitting them growing spurts and whatnot. But once you get past the growing spurts and you've grown into, the person that you are going to be, that you're supposed to be, now all you got to do is just keep walking. Just keep doing what you're doing. And everything's going to be smooth. Pretty much everybody gets out of your way. You understand? Like, to get, go back to my father, like he always, he stayed ass. Because of course I invite him to all the cookouts, let him know he can come to the Passover, our feast days, our holy days. I always invite him. You understand? But of course he wants to do his thing, wants to stay in his world. Lord allow, we'll get him one day. But he stays asking. Now in comparison to what it was like the first time, when I first had moved back in with him and whatnot, he really didn't care. Because in his eyes, I was just another hypocrite like the Christians. You understand? Because but you're still doing this, you're still doing that, you're doing things that you're literally saying that, oh, you're supposed to quit this, but here you are, you're still doing it. You understand? Yeah, I needed some time. That time had passed, not the nicotine, not the marijuana, not, all them things that, I was doing. And then now here I am, and there's nothing but peace between me and my father. And then my mother, she's a heathen. There's peace between her and I. You understand? Of course, my mother had the biggest issue with it at first, but now she's just like, okay, well, it's not like he's over here trying to, do what the KKK was trying to do. It's not like he's at my front door trying to kill me, my husband, or, my brothers and sisters, my nieces, my nephew, I still have my son. It's just, this is what he believes in. These are the things that he does. And she keeps the peace. And actually, there's times when my mother calls me asking me about the scriptures for me to break things down. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll ask me about it for me to break it down for her and her younger sister. You understand? And we'll talk about it. And keeps the peace. You understand? So point is, what verse was that again? Verse 7, right? Let's read it again from the top. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So when you are doing what you're supposed to do, the point is, man, when you are following the Most High God, you are going to have peace. There will be animosity here and there. That doesn't mean, me saying that doesn't mean that you're just going to have this, life filled with just rainbows and daisies and unicorns, and it's just nothing but peace. And, it's basically life is going to be like the heaven that they paint in the Christian churches where it's just clouds and this. Like, no, life is still life. Life is goddamn warfare. You understand? There's always something to be fight, whether it's some sort of a sickness, the principalities of this world, which is the biggest war that we're all going to have. But as long as you're fighting on the right hand side of everything, you will have peace. And not only that, you will also have victory. That's the only way you can even have peace, is if you fight, you win, you get peace. You understand? And quite frankly, the only team that wins everything is the Most High God's team. Team Israel, Team Yasharallah. You understand? The team that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American men and women, that they are supposed to come together and form up together. You understand? That's the team that wins. You understand? All right. Let's go ahead and drop that. We're going to go to the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, verse 33. First Kings, chapter 2, and verse 33. All right. Okay. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, and verse 33. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David, and upon his seed, and upon his house, and upon his throne, shall there be peace forever from the Lord. So back to what I was saying earlier, you understand, where everything, the whole Bible has either had things that have happened, are happening, or will happen. You understand? Obviously, we haven't, we're not in this in the part of the Bible where David's house, the house of Judah, you understand? Just us as the Israelites. If David's house has peace, you understand, all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have peace. All of Israel has peace, right? But we're not in the part where lost my place. We're not in the part of the Bible yet where we have peace forever. You understand? But upon David and upon his seed and upon his house and upon his throne shall there be peace forever from the Lord. We're not there yet, but just remember that this is coming. This is to come. Excuse me. This is to come. This is on its way for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American men and women to have forever peace from the Most High God. Man, I mean, can you actually imagine that, Black, Hispanic, Native American man, where you don't have to worry about another man trying to deal with your woman, where you don't have to worry about anybody trying to sell drugs to you, your children, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your grandpappy, your grandmommy, and none of them are trying to get drugs. You understand? Whatever, how I want to say, whatever hardships that you have had in your life, Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman, where you was growing up, whatever hardships, where you just had to, you basically had to grow up and fight to get out of it. Wouldn't it be crazy to think about that there's going to be a life where you return where that's not even a thought of that happening to not only just you, not only to just your family, but your whole nation of people, because there's peace? Because the Most High God gave us peace, is giving you, your people, peace. I mean, that in itself damn near does sound like a fairy tale. So like I said earlier, I can kind of get sometimes where, well, I can not get, but I can kind of see why sometimes, but man, I don't believe in the Bible. I can't see this fairy tale, this, that, and the other. You know what? With that, I can kind of see it. When we've already, we're still going through 500 plus years of oppression under these people. You understand? How can we imagine anything else? How can we imagine anything else? How can we have anything else but what we have? I can understand us having that mindset. I can understand. I can see that. But you know what? Thing about that is also understanding why we're even in that condition in the first place. You understand? We put ourselves in this condition, but we can get ourselves out of it. The way that we put ourselves in this condition is because we put other things before the Most High God. So how do you think that we get out of this condition? By putting the Most High God before all other things, putting the Most High God first. You understand? And that, and that will get you, and your seed, your house, and of course, King David's throne. You understand? For us to have peace forever with the Lord, from the Lord. You understand? From the Most High God, right? So let's go ahead and drop that. We're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 22 and verse 20. The book of Job, chapter 22 and verse 20. Job 22 and verse, it's 22? Yeah. And then to 23. Okay. All right. This is the book of Job, chapter 22 and verse 20. Whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consumeth. Acquaint now thyself with him, and be at peace. Thereby good shall come unto thee. Receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth, and lay up his words in thine heart. And if thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Thou shalt be a salaki. Thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. You understand? Shalom, little Christ, sis. It's good to see you, sis. So it's, wow. No, I know who you are. Salaki. It says Facebook user, but I know who you are. Shalom, little Christ, sis. It's good to see you in the class. All right. So it says in verse 20, whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consuming. You understand? So the fire is consuming those that basically it gets cut off from us. All right. So there is some of us that get cut off, right? Verse 20, acquaint now thyself with him and be at peace. Thereby good shall come unto thee. You understand? Now, it says acquaint now thyself with him. Man, get yourself familiar with the Most High. You understand? Get yourself familiar with this Bible. Learn who he is. Learn what he is about. Learn the things that he hates so that you hate them too. Learn the things that he loves so that you may love them too. Because what follows with that, it says, and be at peace. You understand? Thereby good shall come unto thee. Now, what is one of the good things that we all want in our lives? Let's be real. Nobody wants to argue all the freaking time. Nobody wants to be at war all the freaking time. We want to be at peace. You understand? We all want that peace. You understand? Verse 22, receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth and lay up his words in thine heart. You understand? So take in his words, take in the law. You understand? And keep those words in thine heart. So when the Bible talks about your heart, it's your mind. So always, anything that you do, that you are about to do, man, what's the law say about this? Does the law say I can eat this? Or better yet, does the law say I can't eat this? Well, I don't know. So maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't eat this until I do know. You understand? Does the law say I can't do this? The law says I can't do this. So I ain't gonna do this. Well, there is no law that says about me doing this, doing this right here. So where there is no law, there is no sin. You understand? Verse 23, if thou return to Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Thou shalt put away iniquity far. Thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. Understand? When you go back to the Most High God, you will be built up. You will rise up from the dust. He will raise you up from the dust to be a mighty man, to be a beautiful princess of Zion. You understand? To be something that none of these other heathens, none of these other nations could even imagine becoming, because it's not for them. You understand? So that in itself, when you go back to what we were just, what we had read in Deuteronomy 23:6, right? Where, just paraphrasing it, where it says, do not seek their peace nor their prosperity, right? Why would you even want to seek their peace and prosperity? When it says right here in Job 22:23 that if you just seek the most high, you seek and do his ways, the Most High is going to raise you up. He's going to build you up. And we know that when the Most High builds something up, the only thing that can take it down is the Most High. You understand that? I pray that y'all understand what I just laid out. The only thing that can take down something that the Most High had built up is the Most High. You understand? Which, like what we had talked about earlier, with the Most High saying that, vengeance is his and his alone, right? It's part of the reason why the Most High don't want us getting violent with these other nations. It's not for us, because what are you going to do? He built them up, allowed them, put them in their seats so that he can take them down for you, Black, Hispanic, Native American man or woman. I pray that you understand that, right? What time is it? We got 5 minutes. We'll go a little bit over. Because I just got 3 more, and we'll push through these ones. So we're gonna drop that now. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 11. The book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 11, right? But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Now, who are the meek? Who are the small? So first of all, you got to think about what meek is, right? You got to understand what that word meek is. It's somebody that's small, weaker in comparison, right? Well, it says, but the meek shall inherit the earth. Who is the meek? Well, we know from Genesis 25:25 that it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. So, and we also know that Jacob, when his beginning begins, it's going to be forever, right? So it sounds like Jacob, whom of which name gets later changed to Yasha'Allah or Israel, he's that meek. His people, his seed inherits the earth. You understand? And shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. We will be happy in the abundance of peace. When we will have peace where we don't have to worry about our children being touched. We don't have to worry about some slant-eyed Asian talking to our children, talking about sucking my tongue, kissing on our kids. Some grown-ass man talking about some sit on my lap, sucking my tongue, and kissing on your child. We won't have to worry about that. That's not going to be something that happens in the kingdom. You understand? And that's across the board. You understand? Not even just our children. There will be a standard across the board. Man, that sounds like there's going to be some righteous rulership right there. I mean, hell, everybody's going to be able to benefit from us being in a place of power, from us being at peace. When we at peace, you at peace. You want to disrupt that, man, you're just going to be destroyed. Think about it, because the Lord is with us. You understand? So let's go ahead and we're going to drop that. Go down to verse 37, right? 30, yeah. Go down to verse 37. So the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 37. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. So mark the perfect man and behold the upright. Who is the perfect? Who is this perfect man that gets marked? Now, Christians will tell you the only man that gets marked is Christ, because they think he's the only man that's ever been perfect. But you got to ask yourself, why was he perfect? How was he perfect? What made him perfect? The fact that he didn't offend any portion of the law. You understand? Yahushua Mashiach showed and taught us that you can follow all of the laws, statutes, and commandments and not offend a single one and be perfect in the law. You understand? Does that mean that you're not going to have some sort of a flaw where, I don't know, you can't, I don't know, you can't whistle? You're imperfect because you can't whistle, or one of your eyes is bigger than the other. One hand is slightly bigger than the other, which is, eyes, one side of your body being bigger than the other side. That's completely natural. You understand? That's 100% natural. But you think Christ was any different? I mean, Christ was created the same way that you and I was created. When a man and a woman, when a mommy and a daddy really love each other, they go into a private room and do some private things, and then a baby is begotten. You understand? That's how Christ was begotten, just like us. You understand? When we get rid of all those nasty holidays, our world will be perfect. I mean, that's a start to it, sis. That's for sure a start to it. You understand? Verse 37. But mark the perfect man. So that's any man that is perfect in the law, that does not offend the law. Mark him. And behold the upright. You understand? Behold those that are upright. Not just, this right here in this context, the behold the upright, this is being said in a plural manner. It's not just, behold the upright man. No, it's behold the upright, all of those that are upright. You understand? For the end of that man is peace. So for each of those men that are upright, that are perfect in the law, their end is peace. They receive peace. You understand? All right. Let's drop that. And I know I'm kind of pushing through this because now we are over the time. So lock it. We just got these last two scriptures. And then, yeah. And again, Salakia for starting late. I do apologize. Micah 2 and 10. All right. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. You understand? So This right here is letting you know that right now is not our time for peace. All right. While we are living in the white man's world, while we are living in, in a world of which is not for us, you understand, in the context of, the white man's world, he built this world for us to be oppressed, not for us. This earth, we weren't meant to be oppressed in this earth. You understand? We were meant to rule this earth. You understand? We are to, right now isn't our time to rest. All right. Arise ye, and so like I kind of lost my train of thought right there. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. So arise. You understand? And get up and depart. Separate yourself from this world. You understand? Keep yourself separate from this world. All right? Because it's not our rest. Because it is polluted. It shall destroy you. This world is polluted. Like the sister had just said about, our world will become perfect with, when we get rid of all those stupid holidays, when we get rid of the Dalai Lama, when we get rid of the Muslim mosque and the what's that freaking meteorite that they all dance and kiss around and crap. Man, who cares? It's probably just some freaking space doo-doo like from Joe Dirt. That's probably what it really is. And that's what I hope it is, that they're freaking dancing and jumping around and they boxed up and they're kissing. You understand? That the Muslims be, I can't think what it's freaking called. But anyways, you understand? These things will destroy you when you get caught up playing into them, caught up thinking that these things, that these ways will be your peace and will bring you prosperity. It says it will destroy you. That's why it was what we read in Deuteronomy 23:6. That forever we are not to go to their ways for peace and prosperity. The water says the Kaaba stone. And it's probably some Kaaba doodoo is probably what it is. And you don't even know. Like in that movie Joe Dirt, if any of y'all know about that. You know what I'm saying? Where there was a freaking, what they thought was a meteor came down. It was like this big ass, like black rock. And he thought it was a meteorite. He's like eating French fries, putting the ketchup on there, eating the French, dipping the French fries on it, eating it and whatnot. And then he goes to get it prospected, right, by, dude that knows minerals and stuff like that. And, dude tells him, he's like, man, these get dropped off by freaking airplanes or it's space doo-doo is what it is. It got dropped off from like the space station or the airplanes or something like that from high altitude. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's probably what the Kaaba doo-doo is. You understand? Just like on Joe Dirt is probably based off of the Kaaba stone. God damn it. You understand? Over there destroying our people, got them dancing around and kissing it for what? You understand? If anything is death, and if anything is destruction, is doing the things that them damn Arabs be doing. I mean, don't even get me started on what the hell them African booty scratchers be doing, where they stick their whole head up a goddamn cow's ass and then try to think that they washing themselves while the cow is pissing on the back of his neck. Like, cow piss shower. Like, come on, man. And that's what I'm saying. Not even what I'm saying. That's what the Bible is saying. That that the world will destroy you. It is polluted. They are doing nothing but sick and disgusting things. Evil and disgusting things. You know why it's evil to put your head up a cow's ass? Think about how unsanitary that is. They want people in America to feel bad for the Africans, right? Because of all the diseases and, the poverty and this, that, and the other that they have there. Y'all do realize the poverty is self-inflicted. They control their own money and they keep their own people from the food. They keep their own people from having clean water. They keep their own people from having food, water, money, the whole. Man, they are actually oppressing themselves. You understand? And I'm supposed to feel bad for them. And let us not forget they're causing their own diseases within their communities, within their villages. How? They're putting their heads up a cow's ass. It's lucky. They're taking golden showers. And I'm supposed to be bad because your village is disease stricken. I'm supposed to give you a nickel a day and all this. But how about you quit being disgusting? Go take a shower. Take some soap. That little white boy that was there, y'all remember them commercials in the early 2000s, walking around in Africa and whatnot. Man, what he should have done instead of doing them stupid ass commercials was sat there and handed out bars of soap. They got water there. They really do. They just burn each other from it. They do it in their own water. That's where Ebola comes from. So they're hurting themselves. And those are the people that you want to follow, is people that hurt themselves. Think about that. You want to hurt yourself because they hurt themselves. You want to be just like them. Man, you want to destroy yourself. That's it. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt as you are being destroyed. It is going to hurt as you go into their customs. Because you know what? The Most High is going to make it worse on you because you're his child. Salakia. You're his child. And he doesn't want you doing these things in the first doggone place. You understand? They're supposed to do those things. And he ain't worried about them. He's not even looking at them, worried about them. You understand? He's worried about you and what you're doing. You understand? So you are going to get the worst of it. You understand? And we're going to drop that, get this last verse. Right? The book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 28. The book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 28. All right. Now, this is written in red, which means Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or Jesus Christ in the Hebrew, our King, or, I guess I already said it, Jesus Christ, as the world ignorantly knows him as in English. He's speaking right here, right? So these are Christ, our King's words, right? The book of Matthew, chapter 12. The book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So Christ is letting you know, man, those of y'all that have just been going through it, slaving away, breaking your back in this goddamn, in this world that wants nothing to do with you except for take advantage of you and just enslave and oppress you. You understand? Verse 29, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. It says, take my yoke upon you. So that yoke, if you look up what a yoke is that it's like this wooden cross type thing that when like you have two ox, when they're plowing the field, it basically connects them, so it'll keep them straight, and then you just take the plow and they'll pull it. You know what I'm saying? So basically he's saying, man, take that yoke, take this burden with me. You understand? Take my yoke upon you. So man, this burden, this work that I'm about to put, I got on my shoulders, put it on your shoulders. And learn of me. And of course, learn what Yahweh Shai is doing. What he's trying to teach you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman. For I am meek and lowly in heart. For he's at a low, he's small. You understand? In his heart, in his mind. Like he don't think much of himself. He's not over there being prideful. You understand? And ye shall find rest unto your souls. And man, you do this, and your souls will find rest. Not because you're gonna die, in time, but you know what I'm saying? But because now everybody knows that following Yahweh Shai, man, you get set free. you get release of the ways of the world, and it is a burden lifted up off of you, right? Verse 30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Put your work and effort into what Yahushua, Mashiach, our King, or Jesus Christ in the English, what he had, put your work and effort that way, and your energy towards what he is doing. You understand? That we all should be doing, which is creating peace for our nation, for our people, for ourselves. And he also said, man, the burden is light, the yoke is, it's not that difficult. You understand? It's not that difficult. This is something that you can find peace in, and we can all find peace in. You understand? So that's it for this class. You understand? So like if we're going over the time a bit, an hour 45, so we can but you understand? So, well, Shalom Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai Barakatam. To all the brothers, Shalom Yahweh Shamar Lakud B'Hashem Yahushai. To the sisters, class dismissed.